June 12, 2025, began as an ordinary morning in Ahmedabad. But within moments, everything changed. Air India Flight 171, a Boeing 787 Dreamliner, took off for London with 242 people on board, families, students, business travelers. Just after takeoff, disaster struck. The plane crashed into a medical hostel in Meghaninagar, erupting in flames and chaos. The devastation was immediate. Only one person, Vishwas Kumar Ramesh, survived. 241 passengers and crew and 34 people on the ground lost their lives. The city was left in shock, mourning a tragedy that claimed 275 lives in seconds. In the aftermath, India launched one of its largest ever DNA identification efforts, working tirelessly to return names to the lost. For nearly 2 weeks, the nation watched as teams from the National Forensic Sciences University identified victims, bringing closure to grieving families. The scale of loss was overwhelming, but the dedication of responders and forensic teams offered a glimmer of solace. This was not just a statistic, it was a universe of grief, forever changing countless lives. The tragedy of Flight 171 would soon raise urgent questions that reached far beyond Ahmedabad. In the wreckage, investigators from the AAIB searched for the black box, the key to understanding what happened. Found intact, the black box was rushed to a new forensic lab in Delhi, marking a milestone for Indian aviation. Data revealed a nightmare. Both engines failed seconds after takeoff, leaving the pilots with no thrust and almost no time. The crew managed to deploy the Ram Air Turbine, a last resort device for emergency power, fighting to control the plane until the end. The dual-engine failure was almost unheard of, especially in a modern aircraft. The black box's data was shocking, raising more questions than answers. Investigators now faced a daunting mystery. How could both engines fail at once? The world's eyes turned to India, awaiting answers. A dual-engine failure on a Boeing 787 is nearly impossible. These planes are built with layers of redundancy. The odds of both engines failing from a mechanical issue are astronomically low, especially during takeoff. The pilots had only seconds to react, with no safe place to land in the dense city below. This tragedy forced the aviation world to reconsider its assumptions about safety and reliability. Investigators explored every angle: contaminated fuel, software glitches, or a hidden design flaw. The findings from Flight 171's black box became a global concern, with airlines and regulators watching closely. The crash's rarity made it all the more urgent to understand and prevent future disasters. Even in the safest industry, new risks can emerge and must be confronted. The crash exposed more than a technical failure. It revealed cracks in India's aviation oversight. Rapid growth in air travel had stretched the Directorate General of Civil Aviation thin, making thorough safety checks difficult. Emergency audits after the crash uncovered maintenance lapses and poor record-keeping across airlines. Flights were grounded and officials dismissed, highlighting a dangerous compromise between safety and expansion. Recognizing the scale of the crisis, India called in international experts from the NTSB, Boeing, and GE. This global collaboration aimed to leave no stone unturned in finding the root cause. The tragedy became a wake-up call for India's aviation system. The world demanded answers and change. The investigation became a meticulous global effort. Every piece of wreckage, every data point, scrutinized for clues. Experts worked to pinpoint the failure's origin, knowing their findings could reshape aviation worldwide. The final report would offer closure to families and set new standards for safety. If a design flaw was found, it could ground fleets. If maintenance or fuel was to blame, protocols would change industry-wide. The tragedy underscored that safety requires constant vigilance and a culture that puts lives above all else. For India, it was a moment to rebuild trust and strengthen oversight. The hope that lessons learned from Flight 171 would protect future travelers everywhere. In remembering the lost, the world recommitted to making sure every flight ends safely at home.